Hello, everyone. Welcome back. Welcome back. Welcome back. So our next speaker is Francisco. Yes, Adeyemi Mujibat. The technical issues have been resolved. It all has to do with unstable internet connection, and really when internet instability in connection strikes, we just keep working at it, and then it stabilizes, and then we move, right? So Francisco is up next. Let me quickly check. Let me share the live stream so that others can join. Okay, our speaker, Francisco, is coming up next. Okay, I just sent the link to him, and he will be joining in now. So I want to share the live stream link so that I will notify Noble colleagues and they can join in. Okay. Just a minute. Just a minute. Let's invite the other colleagues. Just a moment, please. Just a moment. Just a moment. Okay. One moment, one moment. Copying the link to everyone. Copying the link to everyone. Francisco is up next. Francisco is up next. Just a moment, just a moment. All right, Francisco, you can unmute. Please unmute. You are welcome.
Hello, my friend. Can you hear?
Hey, Francisco. Thank you for joining us today.
Okay. Can I share my screen?
Oh, sure. Go ahead.
Are you seeing?
Yes.
Okay. Can I start?
Yes, please do. So let me quickly make a brief introduction to the house. Francisco is a physics teacher. I will share the video link of his profile after the training, but we want to dive right in. So Francisco, please have the floor. You have the floor. Well, welcome.
Thank you. Hello, everyone. First of all, I would like to thank my friend Paulo Abanque for the invitation. It's a pleasure to be here with you today. I'm going to show you to some activities that you can be done using rockets in your classroom, okay? And I will show you some activities that I have been developed in my school with my students. So the title of my presentation is Teaching Physics Topics Through Rockets. Let's get started. So I think everyone loves rockets, right? Or at least gets impressed when they see an image like this. So why rocket is so important? If you are having this online meeting, it's because there are satellites orbiting the Earth. So rockets are used to launch satellites and astronauts into space. What are the rockets like? When we look at different rockets, we see the same, they have common characteristics. They are tall, thin, and have pointed nose. But how do they work? So to explain how rockets work, we can talk about Newton's laws of motion. You can start for the first one, the inertial law. An object at rest remains at rest, and an object in motion remains in motion at constant speed and in a straight line unless acted by an unbalanced force. So why the rockets are stopped? Because there are two forces, and these two forces, normal force and weight, are equal. So the rock are stopped. You can talk about the second law, of course. When the engines are turned on, it produces a thrust. As the rock burn fuel and lost mass, weight decrease. So this create a force, and the rocks work. Okay. Well, okay, but what pushed the rock up? Well, is the way rocks works is through we can talking about third law. Wherever one object exerts a force on another object, the second object exerts an equal and opposite force on the first. So the rock push the gas, and the gas reaction and push the rock. Third law of motion. Okay. So uh, how can we demonstrate this principle in your classroom using hands-on activity? I will show two simple activities to do it. The first one, we need a balloon rock activity. The material is so easy: balloon, straw, tape, pump, scissor, and fishing line. Of course, you can use your lungs, okay? So in this case, you can talking about this physics topics, average, speed, and third law of motion. You must pass the line inside through the straw and fix the balloon on the straw using the tape. In this video, I show how to do the experiment. Okay, so you can ask your student to measure the distance, the total distance, and ask your student for record elapsed time, t. Then they can calculate the speed of the balloon in this case. Okay, and of course, you can explain the third law of motion. The balloon pushes the air, then the air pushes the balloon. Action and reaction. Another experiment that you can use to explain third law of motion, you need a bottle at the time. Plastic bottle, scissor, alcohol, straw, lighter, tape, and fish line. In this case, require more care, okay? Because uh, lighter, alcohol, you need to be careful. So you can talking about physics talk like average speed, third law of motion, and thermodynamics. If you want, you can decorate the bottle to make it more like a rocket. but it's not necessary, okay? Just turn this beautiful. So you make a small hole in the cap using the scissor, put some alcohol in the bottle, approximately 10 ml, but depends on the bottle, depend on the volume of the bottle, and cover the hole with tape and shake. It's so important. Use personal protective equipment like protective glass and lab coat, okay? So this video, I show you how you do the experiment. I shake the rocket, take off the pipe, and lighter. As you can see, is in this case, you can see this time the rocket went faster, okay? So, so fast then we couldn't really see what happened. For that, I made this video in slow motion. Again, even slower, we can see the fire inside the bottle. So, in this case, we can talking about combustion reaction. The heat produced in the reaction hits the gases inside the bottle, which expand rapidly and escape at the right speed due to the increased pressure in the bottle. The bottle exerts a force on the gas, and at the same time, third law of motion, the gas apply a force to the bottle. Okay, it's a very nice experiment that you can do in your classroom. Now, I'm going to talk about a very simple activity that you can do with your student in class. You need so simple materials, paper, straw, tape, pencil, scissors. This activity is straw rock activity. In this case, you can work with more physics topics like third law of motion, trajectory, projectile motion, aerodynamics, and some math topics like length and parabolic function. And this activity is important to talk about some specific part of the rock, like nose, body, and fins. When you have the nose, it's most aerodynamic to overcome air resistance. The body of the rocket we use to put payload and fuel. And finally, we have the fins, which serve to provide stability and direction to the rockets during flights. Okay, building the rocket so easy. Place a piece of tape on the rocket body, warp rocket tip body around pencil, position the tip of pencil slightly below the paper, twist and pinch the top of the rock body, take the nose cone to prevent air from escape and keep it from untwisting. The body and nose rocks are now ready. To continue building the rocket, place a piece of tape on fins, place the fins on the rock body, using the pencil to push up the piece of tape noir, throw the fins so that they stick out from the fuselage at 90 degrees angle. So, if fair, they are a similar tutorial provided by GPL NASA in this QR code or in this link. Now the rocket is ready. I thought in a base to use this rocket, okay? So simple base. In this case, you need a plastic bottle, scissors, cap, straw, tape, or silicone glue. To build this launch base, you need to make a small hole in the cap using scissors, put the straw in the hole, put the caps on the bottle, place a tape around the bottle and cap, tighten the tape and add a little more tape to be better. Or if you prefer, you can use silicone glue instead of tape. Okay, it's your choice. Now the launch base is ready. So with the rock and launch base, you can do this activity. You can propose to your student make three lunch for three different angles. I suggest 30, 45, and 60 degree. So the student made three lunch and make the average, because when they made the average, they minimize the errors. Okay. And you need tape measure and protector to make this. As you can see, the three different angles. As a tip, ask your students to try to apply the same force at the bottom during the lunch, okay? It will be better. So in this video, I demonstrate how to do this lunch. So easy, no? Again, okay. So it's important to get your students thinking about the activity, asking question. What was the shape of the trajectory? At what angle did the rocket achieve the best range? What do you think could be improved in your rocket? Would it be better if the nose were longer? Would it be better if the fins were different? And you can encourage your students to use the simulate of Fit Colorado to see this, to improve his result, reinforce their results, okay? And to finish this activity, you can ask your student to calculate the speed at the launch using the table of science values in the range of 10. Determine the initial speed for each throw using the range equation. So in this case, the student will need the sine table and calculator. Then they can calculate the initial speed of each launch. Okay. Another activity that you can use is the paper rocket activity. Again, the material is so easy: paper, aluminum foil, tape, tape glue, okay, pipe. Uh, in this case, you can talking about physics topic like third law of motion, trajectory, projectile motion, aerodynamic, in this case, thermodynamic too, okay? Uh, to build this, you can read the TI code, but it's so simple. Place the piece of tape on the rocket body and apply glue. Wrap the rocket around the pipe, remove the pipe, and we have the rocket bottom. Roll out some aluminum foil to place in the body of the rocket. This will be the nose of the rocket. Use tape to secure it. Make fins and glue them to the other end of the rocket. You can use tape, glue, paper clips. So, what do you think is better? Okay, the rocket is ready now. So, to launch this rocket, I'll give you three options. Okay, the first and simplest is the one. You only need a bottle, a piece of pipe, and tape. Only this. So the tutorial is available here or in the link. So you can build this base so simple to launch this rockets. In this case, you use your hands. Okay. The second base that you can use is available for GPL NASA. In this case, use your foot. The tutorial is available in this QR code. And the third option is a PVC pipe base. In this case, you need to use a pump to increase the pressure inside the base, okay? Then to run the rod, you need to push the lever using a cord, okay? So the tutorial is available in this QR code, and how to use is available in this QR code here. In this case, you will have to use your arms to pump it, the pump, okay? So I made a demonstration how to use this, but attention, warning. The idea is to use the metal claws, okay? In the experiment, little pressure was used, uh, used. Therefore, there was no risk of explosion. In this case, I put just a little pressure and asked my student to hold this with the foot, okay? So this video, I made a launch. Three, two, one, and lift off. Again, the rocks on the floor. Well, but it's okay. It's only paper, okay? No problem about it. It's not dangerous because it's only paper. Uh, and the last education rocket I would like to talking about are those powered by water and chemical reaction. In this case, in chemical reaction, we use vinegar and baking soda. You can talking about, for example, in this case, ideal gas equation, PV equal nRT. Okay. In the water-powered rocket, you put some water in the rocket and you pump air into it. This increases the number of moles inside the bottle, so you increase the pressure in this case. The tutorial how to make this is available here in this QR code. In the other one, uh, when you use vinegar and baking soda, it produces carbon dioxide, CO2, okay? Is released. Then this high the pressure inside the rocket, okay? But pay attention. We use returnable bottles. You can heat the vinegar, but be careful. It can be dangerous. In my school, we made this kind of rockets that we use vinegar and baking soda, and sometimes you have to be very careful. Okay, so I would like to share with you a competition that we made in my school in this year. So I'll play this video. As you can see, this is a workshop. The students learn how to build a rocket. So many students participated. We use pipe to make the pin. A lot of rock was produced, and this was the day of the launch. Some colleagues helped us. Three, two, one. So safety, first place, put some protective sunglasses, lab coat is so important. Okay. My colleague was look for the rockets on the ground. I made the measures using a laser, type laser, to record the measure, the range. After that, we caught all rockets. So in this case, we use manual launch base. Uh, I will show one of these launch. My student did it. As you can see, he shake the rocket to mix better vinegar and baking soda, produce more CO2, okay, carbon dioxide, to increase the pressure inside the rocket. Uh, every year, there is a rocket launch Olympiad in Brazil, and all high school in our country can participate, okay? And rockets are always launched like this. As you can see, holding the rock to shake, okay? But there are risks when you launch the rocket. For example, in the another video, my student was training to participate in the national competition in Rio de Janeiro. So look what happened. As you can see, an explosion. Nothing bad happens with the student because he was using personal protective equipment. Okay, but maybe we made hundreds of launch at my school. I only remember 2 or 3 cases that the rock explodes. But thinking about it, we developed automated launch base because there's more safety, technology, innovation, and inclusion. Okay, thinking about it. So in this video, my students are controlling the base with the apps. My student make these apps to monitor the pressure. So everything is controlled by the app. In this case, there are no is not danger because they are not close of the base. Uh, as you can see, there are no risk in this case. There's only one in Brazil of the base, as far as we know. Okay. Uh, if something heads wrong, they are the button to abort and pressurize the rocket. Okay, and my student made this app and made the programming. So my student really engaged with rocket. They really liked rockets. So right now they are developed a solid propellant rocket. This in this case it's in the early stage. They said the name is Assis in my honor. Of course, I like it. Uh, in this video, we have the test burn of the fuel. Okay, so we show to you simple activity, but sometimes from simple activity, the student really enjoy and want more and more and more and can improve this. Okay, it's so important to incentivize your students. And to finish my presentation, I would like to end with this great quote said by Dr. Sonny White. He said this quote at one of our LSI meeting. He said, "The chase for knowledge is always valuable. Pursuing a better tomorrow in space provide a better today here on Earth." Dr. Sonny White. So, thank you for your attention. Okay.
Amazing. Thank you so much
It was a pleasure.
for your time and the load of knowledge you've shared with us. It's a rocket All right. Thank you so much, Francisco, for your fantastic presentation. We appreciate you. We have another scholar and hot brain in the building. That's the Fulbright is a Fulbright alumni. Is his profile is very long. If I have to, that's why I prefer to create uh, video citations, and I will make those video citation links once ready. So we have another hot brain, a remarkable brother, colleague, a limitless global educator ambassador as well in the building with us today. That is Mr. Kayode Adewale. Join me to give him a rousing welcome on the chat. Welcome, Mr. Adewale.
All
We
right, thank you very much.
appreciate you
Thank you very
and
much,
we are
Dr. Oluwabanke. Can you hear me? Can you hear me, Doctor?
for your fantastic presentation. We appreciate.
Yes, thank you, Doctor. Can you hear me? Hello, Doctor. Can you hear me? Hello, Dr. Oluwabanke. Can you
Yes, I
hear me
can
now?
hear you.
Okay,
Yes, I can
perfect.
hear you.
So, can you see my screen?
Yes, please.
All right, good afternoon, participants joining us across Lagos State. Once again, my name is Kayode Adewale, and just like the convener have just rightly said, let me first of all appreciate the convener, Dr. Oluwabanke Adewusi, who is a wonderful sister. She has been doing a great work in Lagos State, and let me also use this opportunity to appreciate Lagos State Ministry of Education for approving this kind of opportunity for a great educator. So once again, my name is Kayode Adewale, and by God's grace, I am Limitless Educator 2024, the same cohort with my wonderful sister, Dr. Oluwabanke Adewusi. I'm also the second runner of Best Teacher in the whole of Nigeria for the year 2023. This is an award that I received while I was in United States of America for Fulbright Teaching Excellence and Achievement Program, a program sponsored by U.S. Department of State with the funding provided by U.S. Government. It's a wonderful experience, and I hope to see some of our educators joining the Fulbright Teaching Excellence and Achievement Program for the next cohort. Of course, Lagos State always have a lead when it comes to Fulbright Teaching Excellence. We during my cohort, I have a presenter for yesterday. That's Mr. Fashakin and my wonderful sister Busayo. We have quite numbers of Fulbright fellows in Lagos State. Of course, without wasting much of our time, I only have a limited time to spend with us. Uh, the Limitless Global Educator Program is a wonderful program, which I believe looking forward to see more teachers, especially those that are in this gathering with us, being selected for the program. Because of my time, I may not have that time to run you through some of those things that I have. Of course, I wish I can do a quiz with you, but because of the limited time given to me, probably I will send it to Dr. Oluwabanke, which I believe she can still share with us, which is the challenger for friends. Of course, the topic before me, I'm to talk to you on what I tie to using technology to teach space science. In using technology to speak space science is something easy for all of us. I know Dr. Oluwabanke might have been using quizzes application with you. One of those things that I can use to inspire the student is using some of these assessment tools with your student. Unlike the quizzes application, you set up some question, a fascinating question with them, and share it with them, allow them to answer them. So what we tend to achieve at the end of this my section is basically want to equip you with the technological tools that you need to teach space science effectively. The second one is to integrate space science concept into the existing science curriculum we have in Nigeria. Of course, I just finished a training with selected teacher from all our 517 secondary schools that we have in Ogun State. So in doing this is something to inspire students to explore careers in space science. Of course, as we all know, there are many careers that are related to space science which we have not touched as a country, like aeronautic engineering. We haven't touched it at all. And these are some of those things that our students tend to gain, that can inspire these students when they go when they fully go into space science and other related things. So of course, at the end of the training, we're also looking at it to promote the use of digital tools and resources to enhance our student learning outcome in space science. What is space science all about? I know you have heard a lot of things on what space science is all about. It offers a unique opportunity to inspire students and broaden their understandings of the universe. We all know where we are now, which is the Earth. We don't know. Like when I want to start the introduction of space science with my students, I will ask them to imagine what could be going on above the sky that we are seeing. Some of them will be giving a lot of excuses. They say, after the cloud, you see God. After you see that, you see different things. But of course, with the space science, we can actually use leverage on the technology tools, to expose our students to some of those things that happen uh, after the cloud over there. So of course, below are some of the effective way that we can use technology to teach space science. One of the things I'll be talking about is what we call the ISS above. An ISS above is a device invented by Leon Kennedy. Leon Kennedy is a STEM professional. For those of you that have been seeing a lot of things, we had Leon Kennedy in my program. That was on Thursday. He was able to tell us how he come about the device and how the device can monitor international space station. Many of us, when we come out in the night, we just see some of the sky, a kind of a line on the sky. For years, for donkeys of years, we were told that it is star. Sometimes even they will even tell us that the star just disconnect from so place. Of course, before we later know that, oh, it wasn't like that. It was the international space that is orbiting around the Earth. Leon Kennedy was able to tell us that the device was actually something he come up in inspiring his own grandchildren, and it eventually became a device that the whole world now accept. As I'm talking to you, we have 5 of that device in Nigeria. That is the ISS above. One is with me, Kayode Adewale. One is with the convener, Dr. Oluwabanke Adewusi. And what is this device all about? It's a powerful tool that bring International Space Station directly into your own classroom. If you see anytime if you have the opportunity to see Dr. Oluwabanke, you can ask her to share this device with you. You will use the device, the ISS above, to track the International Space Station. Of course, when you look at this place now, I'm here with my wonderful friend who is in Brazil. We were using the ISS above to track International Space Station. All these are some of those things that you can use to inspire the student about what space science is all about. So what did the ISS above do? You can use ISS above to track International Space Station. You can also use it to connect the astronaut. You can also use the device to interact. You can use the ISS device to get a kind of a data for your lesson, like health observation, weather pattern, and other effect of the microgravity materials and a living organism that is going on in the microgravity environment. So the second tools I'll be talking about is Google Health. Some of us didn't know we have Google Health on our phone. Of course, Dr. Oluwabanke will definitely share my presentation with you. So the Google Health can be used. I have the link of the Google Health in my presentation. She's going to share it with you. So it allows students to explore the Earth and other planets in 3D. It will provide a kind of virtual and interactive way to learn about geography and the space mission, and also the celestial body. And it will make the student to quickly have more interest on what space science is all about. So the third one I'll be talking about is digital astronomy tools. The digital astronomy tools is just like a telescope tools, are a kind of a sky view that can transform any device into a powerful observatory. And this app allows the student to explore the mighty sky from their classroom and their home. So it can sometimes use as a stargazing. You use it to identify the star, the planet, and the light. So the fourth tools I'll be talking about is the tools that many of us knows about, which we call PhET simulation. Of course, there are many simulations that you can use. And by God's grace, I happen to be one of the 70 educators across the globe that translate PhET simulation into Nigerian language. That's my pictures over there, along with other 70 esteemed STEM professionals throughout the world that translate PhET simulation into Nigerian language for University of Colorado. So it provides interactive science and math simulation, including those related to astronomy and space exploration, that can help students to understand the complex of this. You can't just teach in abstract. You need to take the students into a reality. Let them see how you can use technological tools to bring this knowledge down to them. So the next one I'll be talking about is virtual reality, VR. I know many of us will know what VR does. When you have this kind of a device, and these students will imagine where they are using virtual reality. So the next one I'll be talking about is the NASA website. You can also log into the NASA website and see the wonders of our space science. So in using this as an educator, it it can make you to become the next limitless global educator like myself and Dr. Oluwabanke. And in doing this, you are already a global educator once you are selected for the Global Limited. Of course, 20 of us throughout the world have been selected for the first one, which 10 of us from Nigeria and also 10 from Brazil, and we are selected for the program. So these are the opportunity this can make available for you when you use technology in teaching space science. And of course, don't forget, unlike this program as it is going on now, you can screenshot and put it on your social media and use the hashtag of this program. And with this, anytime there is a call for application, you will be able to use such thing. You'll be able to use such videos or pictures you have shared as an evidence that you are under a training of this kind of a thing. And on conclusion, I want you to know that together we have the power to inspire the next generation of explorer by integrating space science into the current science curriculum, and make sure that we are not just teaching this science alone. We are opening doors to the universe. We are allowing the students to make space science a cornerstone of education in Nigeria, and also using this to inspire the next generation of students that can travel beyond our solar system. On this note, I want to appreciate all of you, and I know as we are using this, we are raising the next generation of students that will travel beyond our solar system. So I want to say we are all limitless. Thank you very much, Doctor. So I will appreciate a question from this on.
Yes. So we have, let me see the chat. Oh, much love from the audience. And please note that it's not only, you don't have to use technology only for teaching space science. It's for your classroom as a teacher. If you are a 21st century teacher, you're not using technology now. I don't know what you are using. Thank you so much, our limitless global educator, Kayode. God bless you. Thank you for being a dear brother. Every time I call on you, you don't say these girls' wahala is too much. Thank you so much. We all appreciate you. Noble colleagues, please thank our dear limitless educator, Kayode. If you have any questions, I'm going through the chat. Then we will open our WhatsApp group, and you can drop any questions you have. I will read through the chat and compile the questions, and then I would forward it to him. Thank you so much. So next up, we have Mrs. Jackie Bloomer. She's Mrs. Jackie Bloomer on chemistry. Yes, that's there's a someone is saying for chemistry, don't worry, we have a video on that. So I will make available the link and you can watch it. You have a lot to learn. So Mrs. Jackie Bloomer is in the building. Yo.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. So a quick, let me just give you a little one about Mrs. Jackie Bloomer. I will send the video link of their citations and their profile. But quickly, Mrs. Jackie Bloomer is a dedicated educator with over
Was that me or her? Can you guys hear me? Can you hear me? Hello. I don't see Oluwabanke. Is she off as well? Okay, so you can hear me. I can give you a brief introduction of myself since it looks like she left, or maybe that was my connection, I'm not for sure. But I am an LSI educator from the US, and I'm going to give a presentation today about STEM clubs and how I do that in my school, as well as different outreach that I do with Limitless and the AIAA, which is the American Institute of Aeronautics and Astronautics, and hopefully share some things with you guys that you can do in your classrooms and with others around. Let me see here if I can share my screen. I don't think I'm set to start until 8:30. Can you see my screen? I'm going to try to text her and see if she's seen it as well.
Hey, I'm back.
Okay, there we go. I didn't know if it was me or you.
The internet connectivity is 3 minutes. So let's go. Let's go.
Okay, can you see my screen?
Can you hear me, Jackie?
I can. Can you hear me?
Okay, so you can go ahead and start your presentation.
All right. Okay, so I'm going to be presenting on how to start a STEM club with a space focus. So my name is Jackie Bloomer. I teach 6th grade Earth and Space Science. I am also AIAA's K-12 STEM coordinator for the St. Louis region, and I am an LSI Educator ambassador. And I will say, of all of my titles, I absolutely love LSI because it has brought so many of us together all over the world, and we've had some great friendships, and I absolutely am most excited about that. So let's talk about why to start a STEM club. So for me, I love doing anything that promotes STEM. And so I currently teach 100 students a day, and there are many activities that I just can't do with 100 kids. So I decided about 5 years ago that I was going to start a STEM club. And that STEM club really stemmed from wanting to promote the interest of STEM, prepare students, of course, for future careers, and encourage this collaboration and problem solving that they need to have not only in our classrooms, but also in the real world. And my main focus of the STEM club is aerospace and space, because every kid, almost every kid, I've had a few, but almost every kid absolutely loves space. And it is just such a great hook to get kids excited. So let's talk about how to get started. So the first thing that I had to do was get administrative support. And I'm not for sure if schools are like that over there as well, but we have to get approval for almost anything and everything that we do within the classroom, as well as on school grounds. So I had to then look at how do I want to progress the STEM club? What do I need to have taught? And so from that, I went through and found out which students were interested from my 6th grade class, and then talked to different staff to see who could help me. Now, for my club, you have to be a 7th or 8th grader. So I'm not for sure how that correlates with grades over there. But that ages range from 11 to 14 at the junior high level. So that would be the 12 to 14-year-olds. And then you also want to make sure that you set clear goals and objectives for your STEM club. So what you want to teach and how you want those goals to go across. And then also what objectives you want the students to meet as they're working through those goals. The picture that you're seeing about the getting started, that actually is my old boss. He's the elementary principal of our district, and we had a STEM night, so I made him dress up as an astronaut. I don't know if he liked it, but it was a nice ad, and the kids loved it. Okay, so let me see. All right, so you want to plan your STEM club structure. So for me, I had to really look at how the STEM club would work within the constraints of our school. So we have a lot of sports, and those sports typically occur right after school. And I needed to make sure that I could allow children to be able to participate in the sports as well as in the STEM club. So when I very first started the club, I only had like 8 kids, and I was really selective, and I wanted to make sure that anybody who wanted could join. And I was pretty discouraged by 8 because I thought, you know, man, I'm teaching all this awesome stuff. You would think that more kids would want to come. But that grew with time. And this year I had 80 kids come out of 200, and I could only take 16. So yeah, they really wanted to join. So the word has definitely gotten out, and they see the difference in what's taught from school compared to the club. Probably the most difficult part is the budget and resources needed. And that's because it is not funded by our district. So the first few years that I did the club, that was all funded by me personally. And then, you have to work through what you're able to do. So there were a lot of very simple activities that I could expand on. But budget and resources, you need to think about that. How can you start it at a pretty basic level and then expand it into, for me, into what it is today, which is definitely very different than what it was 5 years ago. Okay. So how do I bring space education into the club? Well, I do three things. I incorporate space themes into almost every activity that we do. It's always related to space. I plan guest speaker events, and then I also utilize space curriculum and resources. All the pictures that you see there are done from activities in my classrooms during my clubs. The one in the middle, you might recognize him, that's astronaut John Schaffner. He came to our school during an ERIS event, which I'll talk about ERIS in a bit. And the kids just absolutely thought that was amazing. We actually got to fly in, myself and another teacher got to fly in on his private helicopter and land in the school parking lot. The kids thought that was absolutely cool to see their teacher fly in on a helicopter. So let's look focusing on incorporating those space themed activities. So you can do very basic things, just as simple as modeling the solar system and doing it with activities or with supplies that you maybe can't do for 100 kids. So, budget of course is a problem. So you want to make sure that you're doing things that are able to be done in a way that allows you to not spend a whole bunch of money. So I would do moon phases, solar system simulations, rocketry. I could never launch, not with 100 kids, the Estes rockets, just for funding purposes. Not every kid could launch it. But the STEM Club all gets to. And so I write a grant now that allows for every kid to have their own rocket, which of course they absolutely love. And then using the free resources and activities on planets and space travel and astronomy. And the great thing, while COVID was horrible, it has really kind of made our world a little smaller in terms of, pre-COVID, we didn't Zoom like we do now. We didn't have all these awesome guest speakers. And now you can, very easily do what we're doing right now because everybody had to do it during COVID and got pretty good at it, actually. So this is my favorite, planning the guest speaker events. It's free, it's easy. Oluwabanke is a master at it. She does quite well at what she's doing, bringing all of this education to all of you out there and finding people that know what they're doing and can share their knowledge with you all. So inviting those professionals from aerospace, NASA, local universities, and that's just really asking. And I don't think I've ever had someone tell me no. People like to talk about what they're good at, and they like to talk and share their information, especially with children. So especially for you guys over there, consider those virtual meetings. If in person isn't an option, make connections with people and then make them feel good about what they're doing, because if you make them feel good about what they're doing, then they're going to want to share it with you. So I love the guest speaker option. Do that very often. In fact, yesterday my students spoke with Fred Hayes, one of the astronauts from Apollo 13. They got to ask him questions, and that was just a simple, hey, can I sign up to ask questions to Fred Hayes through Logan, which I think you guys have talked to him in one of your tracks. So some of the hands-on activities that I do, I do lots of rocketry. The number one, you're looking at just basic bottle rockets that I use water and a pump with. We start out with, of course, straw rockets and then progress up to the bottle rockets. The kids, while it's a very simple and fairly easy activity to do. I mean, you can strip it completely down and just do the bottle. The kids absolutely love being able to do this, and they're amazed at how high it will fly. So I used my husband and said, "Hey, build me these launchers," and that was just simple, wood and screws, and then a bike pump. So that's a fun, easy activity that I do every year. And then, of course, we do a rover challenge. This last year, it was a Mars rover challenge. And I have the students, they can do different things. They can bring in, if they have a remote control car, they can do that. If they don't have a remote control car, this picture that you're looking at right now, that's made with pencils and wheels from a remote control car, and then straws and different foils. And they did not have the ability to move it remotely. So they used, I think those are straws that they have connected there, or a rope, and they had certain criteria and constraints. Their rover had to go over different types of surfaces. Right now they're going over rocks, and then they had to show that they could get over those particular hurdles and do it effectively. 3D printing is something that I just recently started doing, probably in the last 3 years. And again, this is something that initially, that particular printer that you're looking at cost about $300 US at the time when I purchased it. And now you can get a little Bebo printer for about $200 US, and the technology just from the 3 years of that to Bamboo, it's amazing. I mean, I teach a class on it in my regular class, my regular school day. And then my 7th and 8th grade students, when they get into the STEM club, they can design anything they want. Pretty much they use Tinkercad, which is a free program to design. And then they transfer that into the software that Bamboo has put out. And it literally is just 3 clicks of a button, and they can have anything really that they want made out of the PLA or different mediums. And then I need to talk about ARIS, because we just participated in this, and this is something that you guys over there could do as well. ARIS stands for Amateur Radio on the International Space Station. And so amateur radio is, I don't know if you're familiar with this, but it allows you to talk to people all over the world using a pretty old technology, actually, just a ham radio. And the ISS, they have a ham radio on station, and you're able to ask questions. Your students are able to ask questions to astronauts directly on board the ISS. And ARIS does this quite often worldwide. So if that's, and it's free. So if this is something that you're interested in, at the end of the slides, I have some contact information that you can email me about, and I can send you and get you in contact with people who are ham radio operators over in Nigeria that you can connect with, because you need to have someone who's able to use their hardware, because many schools don't have the hardware required to be able to connect to the ISS unless you have a station at your school. So that's another free program that is pretty cool, and the students absolutely loved it. Now, I made an additional requirement for my students. They actually had to become licensed ham radio operators. That is not a requirement of ARIS, but I wanted my students, I wanted to give an incentive for them to get their license. And so I think that while it's an old technology, and some of my students were like, why do I need to know how to do that? I can use my cell phone. I then explained to them that when cell phone towers go down, ham radio is a very good backup. And so that was part of the requirements for them. So building partnerships and resources. This is the moneymaker for me. I talk to everybody and say, hey, what can you do for me? So I have connected with a lot of local organizations and professionals that will, the picture that you're seeing there is actually from our local airport, Greenville Airport, which is a very small airport. But they, last year, it was just, hey, can we come and tour your facility? And then this year, it was, hey, how about you bring your STEM club to our airport once a month, and we will teach them. So that started off with a free flight. So all 18 kids received a flight in a small 2 to 4 seat airplane. And so that was just to kind of get them sparked about flying. And then through that program, which is called the Young Eagles program, through that, we didn't pay a penny. But then the students also get access to what's called the Sporties Education Program platform, where they're able to then go through flight school, the basic ground school. So every month we will learn about something different. So next month, I think, is on skydiving and powered parachutes. And then in December, we will look at drones and how to appropriately get licensed for that and to fly those. And so every month there's something different. And then the airport also received a free airplane that someone donated, an airplane that was older to them. So my STEM Club kids are going to actually be able to help rebuild that plane. And so I think that is a really good way to connect your local entities with your students. And, you know, we pass that airport all the time, many of them on the bus on the way to school. They had no idea what was going on behind those doors and those buildings. And now they actually know what it looks like, and they can see it. And many of them put their hands on it and say, hey, I helped rebuild that plane. So we're really excited about that. I'm constantly looking for grants and funding opportunities because, as I said 5 years ago, I was solely funding the STEM Club on my own. But this year, I didn't have very, very few dollars of my own personal money. And we've done a lot of cool, very awesome opportunities, and have had very cool opportunities and things that all I did was just ask people, hey, can you do this for the kids? And with the STEM Club, if you do it smaller at the beginning, 6 kids, 8 kids, it's not that big of a deal, for someone to say, oh yeah, 8 kids, we can bring 8 kids through. It does get a little trickier when you're up in the 16, 18 number, which is where I'm at now. And that is, it's a little harder to get them into some things. And then of course, using online resources. LSI is a great resource. Using all these different platforms that Alua Banke is putting out. She's connecting you, like I said, with some really good people who know a lot of information, and that's going to get you a good start. Okay, so I love also hosting STEM events and competitions. So these are a little bit more time consuming, but they're really rewarding. I hold a lot of STEM challenges. In fact, I do that in my regular classroom because I teach earth and space science. So everything has an engineering design challenge associated with it. Every single unit, they're having to build and do something with their hands and work through that process. Again, it just prepares them for what it's going to be like in the real world. And then I love doing STEM nights. Space-themed nights, and I've done probably 7 of the 8 of them in the last, I don't know, 10 years, maybe probably more than that. But those I've actually organized myself. And the one we did last year, there was over, I think, 1,000 people that attended, and you can make that very basic to, of course, pretty detailed. But when I first started, it was literally just kids and teachers showcasing kind of like an open house, what they have done in their classroom that was related to STEM and STEM topics. And that really gets kids excited, especially when they can say, hey, I built that, I did it, this is what we're doing. But always invite the public, always invite people in if you're able to do so, because then that ownership is greater for them. And it also allows the general public to see what you're doing in your classroom. And then if you can participate in national competitions, many of those are free. NASA's Artemis Challenge, AIAA has design competitions, typically starting in high school all the way through college. And then I love Science Buddies contests. I don't know if you've heard of that website, but that's a really good website that has a lot of different engineering design challenges for almost any topic that you would want, and using household readily available supplies. Keep those students engaged. Make them, when the very first day that we have a STEM club meeting, I ask the kids, what do you want to learn? What is it that I couldn't teach you in the regular classroom that you are interested in or that you want to dive deeper in? And then build your club around that. So every year it's different. I try to cater what they're learning to what they want to learn about, and make sure that when they're doing things that you're celebrating their successes and their milestones, and then make that learning fun and relatable. And by allowing them to pick what they want to learn, they're very invested, and they want to show you, hey, look, I can do this, And I also tell them, especially this year, because I had so many kids come out, I really was focused on those 18 kids, telling them, hey, listen, you made it out of 80 kids. You were selected, so you have to prove to me that you belong in this spot. Even though they did with the application process. And if you're interested in that, I should have talked about that. If you're interested in that, at the beginning, you can just say, hey, come out, see how many kids you get. But now I have a whole process. Like, they have to fill out an application, their parents have to fill out an application, and as do another teacher referral. And hold on one second, because my lights just went out because I sat too long. Hold on. Maybe I can get them back on. Okay, sorry about that. Okay. So measure your impact and sustainability of your club. So get student feedback and engagement. I do surveys almost after every event that we do, and just say, hey, some of it's really simple, some of it's verbal. Sometimes I'll do a Google form with feedback on, did you like that? Did you not? Should I do it again in 2 years? What do you think? Get that community and administrative support and their feedback as well, because you're gonna hear from them. Were the kids, is it what you expected? Do you want them to come and do something differently? Change and modify based on what you get from the people that you talk to. And then I'm always looking for improvement. How do I make this better? How do I make it more relatable? Always the kids are the focus. So they're the ones that I'm most concerned about. While I would love to always have my admin saying, great, way to go, good job. I really care more about what the kid thinks, and do they like it, and is it meaningful to them? And then have a long-term vision. So my long-term vision is to, reach and inspire as many kids as I can to go into STEM fields. And so I'm going to do that any way I see fit, and any way that I can do it. Be that STEM clubs, be that just in my regular classroom, walking down the hall saying, hey, have you done this lately? Or, tell me something that you've done with your hands, and, anything like that, just to kind of, make them feel like they can do it. So that's really my long-term vision for it. This would be kind of like my go-to resources page. LSI, of course, AIAA. If you don't know what AIAA is, it's an aerospace professional organization. It's kind of like, I'm assuming you have NSTA, National Science Teachers Association, maybe not, or maybe you've heard of it, but it is
Science Association of Nigeria. STAN.
Okay, so yeah, so for teachers?
Yes.
Okay, perfect. So AIAA is really more for aerospace professionals, but they have an education component to it. And AIAA is also a worldwide organization. So there might be areas in or sections in Nigeria as well. And then Space Foundation. Space Foundation, I don't know if you all have heard of that. That is an international program as well. They have international teachers that are part of their groupings. You can check them out. ERIS, I've already spoken about. Science Buddies is basically just an online location of resources, lessons, and then of course NASA. And NASA has a ton of things. And then Luabanke asked to give some kind of challenge or some kind of activity that you could possibly do with your students. This is a fairly simple one. It's called the Lunar Lander Engineering Design Challenge, and I have 2 slides here directly associated with it. This one is the Science Buddies Engineering Design Challenge with an egg drop. So that's the one I do in my classroom. I tell the kids it's instead of an astronaut, it's an extronaut. And so they don't want to kill their extronaut when we drop it off the building. So they go through the whole process. They would design it, build it, test it. And then, of course, the drop from a high drop, you can make this as simple or as difficult as you can. The concepts that I focus on are gravity, impact force, and energy absorption, and the transfer of energy. So we talk about that a lot in class, like how do we mitigate that energy transfer as you're dropping from the force of gravity hitting the ground. So I focus a lot on developing teamwork and problem-solving skills throughout the process. I've had kids kill their extronaut. However, they did fairly well on the unit because they worked through the process really well. And so then, then we would go back and talk about, okay, how could you change that design? Even though you did good on all this other stuff, how could you change that design to make it, make your extronaut survive? But you can, these links, I don't know if you're sharing these slides, Oluwabanke, but these, all of these supplies that you need. Okay, so for this one, pretty easy, egg carton, cardboard, that kind of stuff. And when I first did this, I literally just said, these are the supplies you have. This is the only supplies you have. And it was really cheap, really easy. And then I added this one, just for the sake of time, we're not gonna watch it. This is a 6-minute video on their lunar design, NASA's Lunar Design Challenge. And this one's a little bit different. This has a balloon that you have to use as a propulsion system so that when it's coming down, the balloon gives a thrust so that you don't hit the ground as hard. So this is also a very good lesson you can do.
Ready to inspire your students with NASA's safe.
Can you please play the other video, please?
Yeah, you want me to?
Yes, sure.
Ready to inspire your students
Go forward a little bit. Get you on
with biodegradable straws or pipe cleaners. Foam cups or plates can be replaced by paper plates or aluminum foil. And the small, heavy item options for ballast can be replaced with small rocks, stones, paper clips, nuts, bolts, or marbles. We encourage you to be creative with what you have available to you. Setting up the drop zone. Before your students arrive, have your drop zone prepared. You'll want to use painter's tape to mark off 2 meters on the wall. You'll also want marks every 20 centimeters up to the 2-meter mark, if using slow motion software, to be able to calculate the speed at which your lander falls. Mark off an area below the 2-meter drop mark for the landing area. This will discourage students from walking through during testing. A clear stairwell can make a great drop zone, since you won't need a step ladder to stand on. Okay, materials, check. Drop zone ready? Check. Now you'll want to have your students consider, what is it like to land on the moon? Have your students research and discuss the forces of flight and the difficulties behind landing on the moon versus landing here on Earth. Be sure that they understand that lack of a substantial atmosphere is our biggest challenge when landing on the moon, and why. Then you'll guide your students through this challenge using the engineering design process. Ask. Begin by identifying the challenge, the criteria, and constraints. The challenge. As a team, design and build a model of a lunar lander. Criteria for the challenge. The lander must use the thrust from at least one balloon to slow its rate of descent. Your design must incorporate landing legs that keep the lander upright during and after landing. Landers must be able to survive a drop from a height of 2 meters, both with and without the use of propulsion, over multiple trials. Constraints. Supplies are simple, readily available materials provided by the instructor. No parachutes or other drag devices. This is a good point to reemphasize why we do not use parachutes when landing on the moon. Imagine. Students will then brainstorm ideas and research what others have done, sketching different lander ideas. Don't reveal which materials they will have available, so they are as creative and imaginative as possible. Plan. Using their research and ideas, have students select and sketch a design for the lander. Once you reveal to them the materials they will have available.
I'm going to pause that just for a second. Could you hear that okay?
Yes.
Okay, good. I was going to say, I never show my students these videos because they all want to make the lander look exactly like what they see. So I will just, give them, say I would show them the supplies. Sometimes I show them the supplies. Sometimes I say, hey, here's what I want you to do. You come up with whatever you want, be as imaginative as you can. Other times I'll say, this is what you can purchase from me, and this is what it costs. So it just kind of depends on the year and the kids and how much time too I have to give for the particular activity. But I don't ever show them the videos because then every time I get the exact same design. So that's a good little addition.
Yes, of course, because that's what I do too. I just tell them the challenge, the problem. This is the problem. How are we going to solve it? We have one at the moment. I told them that we need to we have all these pesky little rats running up and down the house. So how can we come up with a mousetrap using everyday recycling materials that we find around us? So that of how they want to design it and the materials they want to use, that gives room for them to be innovative. And then it also hones their problem-solving skills. So yes, you are very right on that.
Yep. They're sneaky little kids sometimes. Although we do the same thing. Show it to me. So this little, say again.
Fantastic.
Thank you. So this little QR code, if you scan it, it gives you access to all my information as well as LinkedIn and then AIAA's website. And I post all the stuff that I do in STEM Club on the AIAA site, so as well as LinkedIn. So if you want to follow and get some ideas, that's how I steal a lot of ideas, borrow a lot of ideas from people that I see posted on different social medias. So does anybody have any questions? I'm going to have students in about 2 minutes.
I'm checking the chat now. I'm checking the chat to see if there are questions. Okay. Well, I can have the questions compiled and okay, here's one here. You talked about grants. We know that teachers, anytime it comes to, can you hear me?
Yes.
We know that funding is usually a big issue. So you want to give our teachers some ideas on how they can seek relevant grants that they can apply to so that it will make the financial burden easier.
Yeah, so AIAA actually offers a $500 grant, and I think that they do that internationally. I can check on that. That's a grant that they do twice a year, at least in the States. So I can look for that on the AIAA website that I have hyperlinked on this from this QR code. There is a section on grants, so I will post many different opportunities that are available, both in person as well as monetary, on that for people from the States. I'll see what I can find out in terms of Nigeria and if there are different grants in your area.
Mm-hmm.
And then I can send them to you, and you can send them out to, if you have a listserv or whatever.
Yes. Yeah, we have
Yep.
a community. So I'm going to compile those questions and I'll chat to you about them, and then I will send your response to our chat room community, right? Thank you so much. Thank you
Perfect.
for
Thank you.
coming.
Thank you for all that you do.
Yes, we had a blast. So, distinguished noble colleagues, please say thank you to Mrs. Jackie Bloomer in the chat. Thank you. We appreciate you. Thank you so much. God bless you.
You as well. Hope to see you soon.
See you soon. Bye. Okay. Thank you so much. So next up, we have Mr. Olalekan Adieko. Mr. Olalekan Adieko's profile is a lengthy one. Every one of these distinguished speakers, I just, feel like a dwarf when I look at their accomplishments. And yet they are so humble. They are so humble. If I was to pay them for what they are doing, for bringing them to speak with us, I would not be able to afford it. But I want to thank you, Mr. Olalekan Adeko, and all our speakers for taking time off your busy schedule to come be with us, So welcome, distinguished colleagues in the chat. Please welcome Mr. Olalekan Adeko. You're welcome, sir.
Good afternoon, Doc, and good afternoon, everybody. I'm happy to be here. You're doing a very wonderful job, and then one cannot just do without saying, oh, we want to add our voice to what you're doing. So it's not as if we're doing you a favor. We are both doing ourselves a favor. We are in it together, and a better Nigeria or a better Africa or a better world as a whole is all that we all desire. So we are in it together. We are doing this together. So please, can you confirm you can see my slides in full show now? Hello, Doc?
Yes, I can. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. So you're seeing it in full show. Okay.
Yes.
So I have 30 minutes and I want to reserve about 7 minutes for practical sessions because I would love for us to still see some of those things that I'll be talking about. So I don't want it to just be slide and slide and slide. So my session is on leveraging AI technology for effective space lesson. We want to leverage AI and technology, for effective space education lesson. So we want to see how can we leverage these tools as educators. One of the topics or one of the subject area that is not easy to get learning materials or let's say instructional materials for is talking about something that none of us have been fortunate to visit, and that is talking about space. So we've not been to space, we've only been seeing videos, we've only been seeing pictures. So you want to now teach your student about space. So what are those things that you need to use? What are those things that you can use? So we want to see how Gen AI can help us in that aspect, how we can still ensure that our students have an understanding of what goes on in the space till some of us are able to afford what Elon Musk or what Jeff Bezos and all of them, the Virgin Atlantic guy, what all of them are building. So what can we do with Gen AI? That's what my session is all about. But before I jump into that, I know we've talked a lot about space education. I just want to chip in one or two things. Why are we even talking about space education? Because if you ask some people, they will say, why are we disturbing the kids? Why are we disturbing ourselves? It's not as if some of them will even have opportunities of traveling or just going into space. It's not as if they want to be astronauts, especially from this part of the world. So why are we talking about it? They forgot that there are so many other important, so many information that we need to be aware of as humans. We need to understand what goes on in space to be able to appreciate what we have and how to interact better with what we have here on Earth. So talking about space is one way of inspiring the young minds towards scientific or science-related careers. By the time they start hearing about all these, some of them will probably say, you know what, I want to be an astronaut. You know what, I want to get to the space and stay there, maybe gather data and then see how it works. Or maybe you want to be the person that will explore Mars and other planets and say we want to start living in all other planets. It enhanced problem solving. And these are some of the 21st century learning skills that we are talking about. We want our students to be able to solve problems. We want to promote collaboration. We want them to be able to think critically about things happening around them. So talking about space education is very, very important. It's one way of inspiring our students. It's one way of ensuring that they do what we call problem solving and all other things that I've mentioned. So what is generative AI that we want to see how to leverage it? Remember, I started with AI itself, and AI is artificial intelligence. But AI has what we call like subsets. We have what we call machine learning, we have what we call deep learning, and then we want to talk about generative AI. Generative AI is that subset of AI that is making it possible for everybody and anybody to be able to use AI in one way or the other. Not everybody will be able to, build models using machine learning. You want to do your linear regression, logistic regression, and all those models. Not everybody will be able to do that. Or you want to do neural network. Not everybody will be that technical. But when it comes to leveraging AI in an aspect, and everybody here and there should be able to use it, we are talking about the generative AI. So Gen AI, I'll be saying Gen AI for generative AI. It is that aspect of AI that will allow you and I to be able to create new content. Content that we've not seen before. They are not somewhere. We want to create it. We are looking for something. We are looking for a text. I want to create a poem on space. I want my student to recite the poem. I want to create a song on space education. I need a picture. I can describe the picture and I want to see it drawn. I want a video that is not existing. I want to introduce my student to space. And I've checked YouTube. I couldn't find the video that I would prefer. I want to describe this video and I want it developed. We can use Gen AI to do this. So Gen AI can create texts, not only text, it can create images, it can create audio, it can create videos. In fact, some of us in the tech space, we use it to also write our codes. But the last 10, 15 minutes, I was discussing with somebody here at the office. I said, I don't know what I would have done without ChatGPT, Copilot, at least in the last 1-2 months now, because I've been kind of relying heavily on these tools. I've been using them to do weight stuff, things that ordinarily I would have spent 2-3 hours to do. I find myself spending 5-10 minutes now doing it, write the prompts over and over again, trying to iterate, force it to do what I want it to do. So we want to create this. We can use what we call Gen AI. Don't forget, we are talking about space education. We're just seeing how to use Gen AI in enhancing space education. So with us and space education now, what are those things that we want to do? We want to simulate. You want people to see, you want your students to see what goes on in space. You want a video to introduce them to space. You want a picture about a rover. You want a picture, something, you want to describe it, somebody walking on the moon, somebody landing, and you want something like that. Or you want to create content on space education. You need outline. on how to teach this in the class, knowing fully well that I'm not sure we have space science education in our NRDC curriculum. I don't think we do. But you now want to create something like that, you can use the Gen AI to help you with the outline. I mean, I am not saying we should use it to write everything, right? Because as we are talking about Gen AI and AI, we are also balancing it all with ethical use and responsible use of these tools. So we wanted to help you with the outline that you can do your research and build up content around. So you can use Gen AI to do all this. Okay, so Gen AI space simulation. Let's get more specific. So what can we say we want to do? Virtual and augmented reality experience. We can use some of these Gen AI applications or AI applications plus a virtual or augmented reality gear to give our student that immersive experience. You know, they can put on a virtual reality gear and get immersed in one application powered by AI, and the student will have that experience. It will appear as if they themselves are in the space, and they'll be able to move around, see things there. The augmented reality will bring things to life. It could just be a card, and then you want to just put your phone over the card, and then it will start showing you life in the space and some other things. So we can use virtual and augmented reality experience for immersive experience. This is really, really wonderful. You know, maybe some of us have seen on social media when somebody will put on a virtual reality gear, and then the person will just shout, and it will appear as if the person is about to be tossed into the ocean, or the person is walking in front of dinosaurs and all that. So it brings things to life, and we can use this to better explain what goes on over there with the student. They see all these things. You're talking about Mars, you're talking about the reddish, you know, they see all these things. Interactive simulation. You want to come up with simulations to better explain some astronomical phenomena. You can do this. You also want to create content. I already mentioned this. You want to create PowerPoints, slide on space education. You want to create notes on space education. You can use Copilot, you can use Gamma AI, you can use all these tools to do that. And then personalized learning. This is one of the key things that Gen AI is providing us with. Personalized learning. As teachers, we have our students and they learn differently. So we want to still differentiate. We want to meet them at the point of their needs. So you can still use Gen AI to get more content. Maybe one student out of the lot is still kind of behind in the class or has learned more than what he's supposed to learn. So we don't want to hold that person down while we're going back to teach other people. You want to get more content for that particular student so that the person can continue to learn at his own pace. If it is on the other hand that you see our students that are struggling, you want to get more content. You want them to do certain things over and over again. You can leverage Gen AI to give you more content to support them, to help them, so that at the end of the day, everybody is learning at their own pace. And while we're doing this, we're empowering our students to be able to learn to observe. You know, you've gotten that picture, you want them to identify some of the key features, you have that video created, you want them to see things themselves there, you want them to observe, you want them to experiment, you want them to discover things, and then we want them to work together and collaborate. So when you leverage technology, you leverage AI, and then you want to teach them space, they can come together and use some of these cards. There are what we call these augmented reality cards or virtual reality gears. Not that expensive, because I know virtual reality gears are expensive if you want to buy Oculus, but you can still use the basic ones that you slide in your phone in it, and you still be able to have a kind of experience. Or you have these cards. I think I still have like 2 cards from what's this lady's name? She created the cards, one for the elements, scientific elements, and the other one for for different planets. So when you bring the card, it has like a QR card. You place your phone on it using the application, and it brings the card to life. When you're seeing it through your phone, it will appear as if you're seeing something real. So all these will help our students to be able to observe, experiment, and discover things themselves. So it's not just going to be, oh, we're just learning theoretical, or we're just drawing the sun and the 8 planets on the board, and then students are just saying, oh, this one has ring, this one does not have ring, this one is to take 365 days to move around the sun. We want to show them the simulations. We want them to understand what we're talking about. You know, when you talk to them and say, oh, the size of the sun, we don't have an idea. We just look at it up there and say, oh, is this small thing there, or the moon, and say, this thing is small now. But by the time we simulate using all those videos and then let them have this experience, they get to understand better. Right. And there are several programs developed by different organizations that teachers can get themselves familiar with, and they can use that in explaining to the student. So there are different programs at the moment. One of them is the Stellarium created by NASA. So with this, you can just open the whole space and begin to interact with the web app. So it's available in web app. You go there, you're not paying for it. You can still interact with it, introduce your student to it. There is Celestia, there is Sky, Safari. So you be able to visualize different constellations. If you're checking that of Stellarium, you want to visualize the planets, you want to visualize the galaxies. So these are tools that are available that you can just jump online and use the search engine. Either you want to use Google or Bing to look these things up, and you get resources that will enrich you to yourself as a teacher, and in a way enrich your students too, so that they can visualize all those things that we are talking about. Visualize what planets is all about, what galaxies are all about. You know, some of them, they don't even know that we've got other things around us. They just look at the sky and say, oh, this is heaven, this is earth, and that's all. So they have no clue as to, oh, we've got different planets and how each of the planets are. So we want to show them all this. You can leverage some of these interactive tools online. I hope I'll be able to at least show you Stellarium, but you can Google all these things and you'll be able to have an idea of how to use these tools to support your teaching in the class. I think I already mentioned that all these tools, you know, when you're talking about using technology, there are AI-powered digital labs. These are labs created just like the Stellarium, Celestia, and so on. There are augmented reality and virtual reality that will give you that massive experience. And there are also simulation softwares like PhET and some other applications that will still support you in pushing out teaching your students. So we have enough resources. All the images that I have on my screen now, I use AI to generate them. You know, I was able to give them prompts to give me the black hole. You know, at the top here, you've got black hole here. This is the one to my left here. He is showing me a rover in, oh, no, don't go. I wanted to just annotate and, okay. So this one now is kind of showing me the mass, and then got a rover on it trying to gather data. And here I say it should show me the James Webb telescope. You know, you can describe what you want, and then it gives you a picture that you can use to support your teaching in the class. So I will demonstrate to us how to use this, how to write prompts to create images like this. Like I said, I want us to kind of see how to do that. So the next slide here is one of the prompts that I used. So look at the prompts that I use here, because when I teach people how to use Gen AI, I most of the time start from prompt engineering. I don't even introduce them to ChatGPT or Copilot first. That would be like the last thing that I would do. I always want them to understand what prompting is all about. I want them to know what prompting is all about. So this is a prompt that I wrote. I said, create a hyper-detailed image of the surface of Mars, focusing on a Mars rover like Perseverance or Curiosity, conducting research, show the Martian landscape with its reddish, dusty face, large craters. I wrote this detail, adding all the elements, all those features of Mars. I added everything there. And I said, you know what? Create the image for me. Then I can now use that image to support my teaching. This is another prompt that I wrote to say, oh, I need you to generate a highly detailed image depicting the wormhole. You can write this prompt and then you'll be able to generate content. So without stay a few more minutes, I'll run to the web page now and try and demonstrate. So this is the last slide that I have here, aside from my details. So what's the call for action to us? So we want to encourage us to experiment. We've introduced you to Gen AI now. Experiment. That's how you get better. Experiment. Prepare your students too for the future and space roles. As you're teaching them space education, let them understand what AI is all about too, so that they can balance things up and see the place of AI in space and in all the other subjects that you're probably teaching them. And very, very important, ethical AI use. As we are teaching them AI, I wouldn't want us to miss it and just focus solely on this is AI, use AI, use AI. No, we should balance it up by promoting responsible and ethical use of these tools. We don't want our students to start hearing AI Yahoo or something like that. We want them to use it responsibly. And then teachers, let's guide them for critical thinking. We want them to go beyond the lower order thinking skills. We should also not just focus on asking them questions like what is least mentioned. We should let them do stuffs around higher order thinking skill, application analysis, synthesis, evaluation. Ask them the why, so that they can then come up with their own idea. Especially in this world of AI, we need to reimagine assessments. If you give your student any question now, they just run to AI and they'll ask it questions and it will give them. But if you give them case-based questions, you give them real life world problems, you want to give them questions that they will be forced to think and not just run to ChatGPT and expect just an answer. If you just say, who is this? What is this? They can easily get all those using Gen AI. So this is my email. I'm sure Manke will be able to share that with you. So let me stop sharing here and share my browser, and then we'll be able to quickly check out how to use ChatGPT to do a few things. Where are you? Okay, I think this is it. All right. So I'm sharing. Let me share the audio. Okay, because I want us to listen to something. Okay, so this is ChatGPT. So you can use ChatGPT by going to chatgpt.com. This is free. You can still create a fewer number of images per day. Before they tell you you can't use it, you need to subscribe. I use Premium so I can create as many images I want. But we have a designer. So designer.microsoft.com. We allow you to create more images. Okay, so even if you don't want to subscribe to ChatGPT to create more images, you can use designer at designer.microsoft.com. You can sign up for free. So I want to create image here, and I will try using the prompt that I shared with you. So I clicked on create image. I will copy my prompt, and then put it here, and we'll see what it will create. So I've copied it. So I want to paste my prompt here, the prompt that I shared with you. Then I'll just say generate, and it will create 4 different images for me. And I will pick one from the 4 images. So this is just simple, a way we can create images, but the detail is in the prompts. The magic lies in your prompts. how to write the prompt. I know this particular training is not about writing prompts. So your prompts, there are different elements that should be in your prompt, the persona, the objectives, you want to have those details there. You want to give it enough information. So look at what I described. I said I want a rover on the Mars. So I was able to get these images, and I can download this image and use in my presentation or use to explain certain things to my student. I can even come here and say, maybe I want another image, a Nigerian man holding a flag landing on the moon. So we've gone to the moon now. So you will see a Nigerian man with a flag on the moon. You just want to do something, you can write your prompts, and then before you know it, you have the image generated, download the image, add it to your lesson notes, add it to your slides. So see what I did here now. So just tell people out there, we have a man that has landed in the moon now. So it's not only China or US or Russia or all the other countries that are going to the space. So we also have gone to the space. So you can create images like this and use it to explain certain things to your student. This is the Stellarium that I talked about earlier. This is stellarium-web.org. So here you will be able to see the various planets. You see the different planets, and you'll be able to kind of observe, see what goes on there. So you can expose our students to all this so that they have an understanding of what we're talking about. It's not just theoretical. They now feel it, they see it. And students love music. They love music. You can also use AI to create songs about space for them. For example, here now, maybe I want to say, create an Afrobeat song about the space, planets, education. I just want to keep it simple. If you just do this and say create, it will create a song. And we know our students love music. By the time they start singing the song about the space, they start mastering the lyrics, and it becomes part of them. And you can also turn content in your lesson note about space. Maybe you've created your notes. You can copy your notes and then convert it to song, and your student will be able to play it. So for example, it has created one song here. The stars where we learn, galaxies spin as they turn. Can you hear the audio? Knowledge faster at every turn. Can you hear the audio? Cosmic classroom we dance. Planets teach us. This is the song that I just created now. We did small prompts now. So it even gave me two options. It gave me two options, so I can even say, oh, I don't want that one. I want to try the second one that it gave me. So it gave me two options there. It created one. This one too is space song. So you can convert it to song. Let them play it instead of just playing. Instead of just listening to the video and all that. Rockets soar and rovers roam in search of life so far from home. Asteroids drift, comets fly. So students can do this. They can also create video too. They can create video using InVideo. Maybe you want a video about anything. You want to create video. You need a video to explain certain things to your student. You can also use InVideo to create a video. You want to create presentation, you can use Gamma to create presentations about space for your student. So these are the various tools that you can leverage. And then before you know it, you're already helping your students to space education. And all the tools that I'm sharing with you are free. So you don't need to say you want to subscribe and pay. InVideo is free, just that it will add its watermark to it, but who cares? We just want to use it in the class, so we are not selling it. So you wouldn't mind the watermark. It's only when you want to now It's only when you now want to say, oh, you want to start selling or you want to push it out there as your own product that you probably need to subscribe to remove the watermark. So whether you want to use Suno, I love Suno, whether you want to use suno.com, is that the audio, or you want to use Designer, which is for creating images free. Gamma is for creating a presentation, Gamma, Gamma. So Gamma AI is for that. In video is for creating video. So in video is already creating the video for me here that I can now download, add in my presentation, play to the student to explain certain things to them. In fact, you can convert your own content to the video and play for the students. So we need to spice things up. We don't want the student to get bored by just telling them something that is theoretical. Oh, imagine, we can't go to the class every day and say, imagine you are in the space, imagine the moon up there, imagine, we don't want them to just be imagining. We want them to at least see something close to the real thing. Right. So these are the things that I want to share with you. I think I've even spent 4 minutes extra. So I will pause here. I'll still wait for the video to load up while I take 1 or 2 questions if the time still permits. Okay. So thank you for the opportunity and well done for what you've been able to put together.
Wow. This is, even myself, I'm learning. I haven't stopped taking notes since we started this summit. I've been writing and, thank you so much for sharing so much with us. Thank you. It's only God that can replenish the virtue that has come out of you. Thank you so much. I appreciate you.
My pleasure.
I can, please, I need you can spend a couple more minutes to finish your presentation and then that activity, right? While I go through the charts. Gamma, is
Okay.
Gamma Gamma?
Yes, it is Gamma. Let me show you here.
What kind of
Gamma,
presentations are we talking?
gamma.app. So look at it. I'm putting it up now. Gamma.app.
It's free too, right?
Yes, it's free. So from Gamma here now, if I say create new, what do I want to create? I want to generate, right? I want to generate, or I already have my content somewhere. I can bring it in, turn it to PowerPoint. So let's say I want to generate now. I want to generate presentation. So I want introduction to space, maybe introduction to space education, for example, now. And then I say generate. So it will first of all give me the outline, but how I use Gamma is I feed it my own content. So not just use its own content. I will have prepared my content so I can put my content in there and it will just create PowerPoint for me. Maybe you're not that very good with PowerPoint creation. In 2 minutes, you're done with your presentation. So you can just pick the design that you want. I've picked the design now. So I'll just come up here and say generate. So right in front of me, it will create presentation. If we had some of us to create presentation now, some of us will struggle to create very good PowerPoint presentation with nice pictures and effects, and you want to use smart arts, you want to use infographics and all that. So it's just creating the presentation for me now. So at the end of the day, I'll just download this in PowerPoint, edit it. If I still need to edit, and if I don't need to edit, I can run with it. But don't forget, like I always say, use it for guide, use it to get outline. Don't just use it from top to bottom and make it be the real deal. So do the thinking while AI can do the doing. So just be the one to still do the job. That's why I love what Microsoft called their own Gen AI. They call it co-pilots, meaning you are the pilots. It is the co-pilot to support you. So this is the presentation we've created. in 2 minutes now, introduction to space, and then you have this beautiful presentation that I'm not even spending a lot of time.
Wow.
It has added pictures, added, all these nice web smart arts and infographics. So it created images at the same time, created the slides with it, and then before I know it, I have my presentation, and I can just download this at the end of the day and have it in PowerPoint. So if I can just download it here. I can download it as PDF, or I can download it as PowerPoint. So if I export here now, it will ask me if I want it in PDF, if I want it PowerPoint, or if I want it in form of a PNG, or I want to embed it on my blog or my website. I can just click on embed. So we've got all these tools out there to support you. But finally, the one that has almost everything in one place is what we call the Magic School. So if you go to magicschool.ai, it has the text creation, has the image creation, the PowerPoint creation. In fact, it has what do you call it now? Jokes. You want educational jokes, for example, it has it there. Just take a look at what I have on my page now. You want to write professional email. This time around, the prompts, they've written the prompt for you at the background. So you will just supply key information, right? So email, you want to generate rubrics. You want to generate questions from a YouTube video. You made them watch a space video. You want to give them questions on it. You want to generate image. You have it here. You want multiple choice question. You want to create multiple choice. It will create multiple choice, give you the answers. You want lesson plan. You want report card comments. You want it to proofread your text. You want email. You want writing feedback. You want song generator. You see YouTube summarizer. You want a project-based learning. You want to use the 5E model lesson. I don't know why I love this. Teacher jokes. So you want to do teacher jokes. So on Magic School, you've got like a whole lot of things that we do as teachers. So you can easily come here and it will help out. Let me just demonstrate teacher jokes. I like teacher jokes. So I want teacher jokes, and I want the joke to be for, for staff. You can say the joke should be for a particular student, a grade of student. So I want the joke to be about the space. I want it to be about the space, I just had something, then I say generate. It will come up with jokes. This time around, you're not just joking about something that should not get into the classroom. You're making jokes about your content. It could be about a chemistry, it could be about biology, it could be about mathematics. So look at the joke he's giving me. Why did the sun go to school? Because it wanted to get a little brighter. How do you throw a space party? Your planet. What did Mars say to Saturn? Give me a ring sometime. This time around, there are jokes, but they are relatable. You're linking it up with what you're doing in the class. So these are many more tools that are out there for us to just look at how to effectively use them in the class. So the tools are there. We still don't need to forget our pedagogies. You want to ensure you leverage on all those. You want to use 21st century learning design, or you want to look at the SAMR model in terms of adopting technology in the class. You want to look at all these things as a whole. So I think I'm done now. Thank you once again for the opportunity. And well done, well done, well done.
Thank you. Distinguished noble colleagues, please say
Don't know
thank
about
you.
space. It's way more mind-blowing than you think. Buckle up.
It
Let's
seems
dive
our
in.
video is ready on
Space is
in-video.
huge.
Wow.
Imagine
Look
Yes.
at
Our
this.
Earth is just one tiny
I
speck in the vast
to
universe.
generate video on any
Did you know
subject.
there
It
are more
doesn't have to
stars in the
be
universe than grains of sand?
Yes.
alone, right?
Of course, yes.
Amazing. Thank you so much. Thank you. So I have a question here. Can these apps be used with phones or laptops? Can it be used
Yes,
with phones, or it's just laptops that it can work on?
some of these applications, you can easily use them on the phone. ChatGPT you can use on phone, Designer you can use on phone, Suno you can use on phone, InVideo you can use on phone, Gamma you can use on phone, Magic School you can use on phone. Not all of them, you can use all of them on phone via the web. What I'm trying to say is that some of them do not have the
Apps.
app at the moment, not that you want to go to Play Store and download the app. But you can still go to your browser on your phone. If you're using the Chrome or Safari on your phone, go to the browser and still type the URL. You'll be able to get there. There is no app for Suno at the moment. There is app for Designer. There is app for ChatGPT. So the ones that there are no apps, you can still use the browser on your phone to create whatever you want to create, and it will still work the same way. There is app for InVideo. Yeah.
Okay, thank you. And for the prompts, do they have any word limits for the prompts?
Yes, if you're using the free version, it has like a limit. I think, I'm not sure, maybe 2000 if you're using the free version, but if you're using the premium version, you'll be able to do a lot of things. You'll be able to upload, download, and do whatever you can do. But I tell you, the prompt that you will be writing at the moment, I don't see it getting to like 5 pages or 4 pages at the moment, except if you've mastered it and you want to create like your own GPT. For example, that is when you want to load it. For me, I create my own GPTs that I don't need to write long prompt again when I want to use them. So I've already written that prompt. I have all these here. So if I want to do my own analysis, if I want to, just do my own thing, I have GPTs that I've created that I don't need to write prompt again. I'll just drop one word. It will now use the prompt that I wrote at the background to run with it. But you don't need that for now. Just come to use the free one, write whatever you want there, and you'll be able to get a very good result. But hopefully later in the future, we will be able to delve into prompt engineering itself, learning how to write the prompt, because that is very, very important. Very, very important. It has saved me a lot of time and money recently. Learning how to write prompts is important. Yeah.
Awesome. Awesome. Then I wanted to ask for the one to create Suno. Is it Suno can create songs and videos, or is it only for songs?
No, Suno will create songs. The video it will create will be like it will just be playing not really every video. It will create something like a video, but not full video. It will just be like the arts. When you want like arts for a cover, like a cover of a CD or something. Not if it's playing the video, it will be playing the lyrics over the arts. So I hope you understand that now. It will be playing the lyrics over the arts. So if I say I want to download it, I can download the video, but it will be like playing the lyrics over the arts for that particular song. For example, this is the arts for this song now. It created this image to serve as the cover, or what these musicians call it. But if you say you want to download the video, you see you can download the audio, you can download the video. So anything you create here, you can download the audio, you can download the video. So for me, I've created a lot of songs here, that's even outside education scope. You're a religious person, chorister, you have a choir group in your school, you want them to go for a program, they've given you a theme, you've written your songs, you want a beat and rhythm to go in line with it. You can tell Suno to help you come up with the right rhythm and the right beats, and even play the song, play the instrument, sing it, do everything.
And Suno can take any length of words. Is there
Okay,
a
this
limit
is
to the word count for Suno?
look at it now. If you are describing it yourself,
Oh,
you are not writing the lyrics, it will take up to 200 characters if you are describing, meaning you don't have your own lyrics. If you push this to custom, it can accept up to 3,000. So it can take up to 3,000 characters here in terms of your lyrics. To take up to 3,000 in terms of your lyrics. But I tell you, a song should not be even more than this. You know, if you just have if I just say a short song about space technology in Nigeria, it should not be more than 3,000. You can even limit it here and tell it the number of verses and number of the length it should be. So this way now I have the song, so I can come here now and paste it. See, everything that I copied now is still 939. See the entire length that I copied. Look at the length. See, this is what I copied now. It is still 939. So it's still something small. It can take up to 3,000. So I can say choral Afrobeat. I added that choral because I want to give you that choir vibe. I want to give you that choir vibe. And if I say create now, it will create it and it will give it like a choir vibe. You know, you have a group of people singing in harmony at the background for those of us that's musically inclined.
yeah.
So this is so students love music. There is no way you use many of these things in the class and they won't be like, no, we don't want to miss this person's class. So yeah.
So you've been using these resources over time. Can you tell us which one has what are their strengths versus their weakness? And I can see that one can have a fine blend using them all together to achieve a task. But from your experience, what are their strengths versus their weaknesses?
What I would say is I won't talk about strength and weaknesses first. I will talk about we trying to understand what prompt engineering is all about. So if you are able to master prompt engineering, even if you're using Suno, you're using ChatGPT, you're using Copilot, you're using Claude, you're using Meta AI, you're using any of those models, you will still be able to write the prompts the way you're supposed to write it to get the result. So know what prompt engineering is all about. That is one. Then also master the responsible and the ethical use of AI. And then the intersection between this AI and methodology and pedagogy. So if we are able to understand how to blend this together, we'll be able to enjoy the tools. The other thing that I would mention will probably be, for us, we don't want to spend money, right? You don't want to subscribe. You can't be doing $20 every month for ChatGPT, for example, or you want to pay to use in video. So you can use Designer, will still help you create images if you've exhausted your free three images per day from ChatGPT. Go to Designer, generate your free images there. Copilot too is there. It's free. If after using the free ChatGPT for a while, it's telling you to come back after a certain number of hours, then go to Copilot and use it, So we cannot compare paid version with free version anyways, but at the same time, we can still maneuver ourselves and find a way of still getting the desired results using the free version. And since we are even teachers, we're just using it to help our students. We can make do with the free version. But if you're trying to do something kind of sophisticated, you're trying to do something for your own personal businesses and all that, then you'll probably be thinking about maybe you want to subscribe to do more. You know, for example, what I do, I work with data, analyze data, and I had to subscribe for the premium version for me to be able to do certain stuff, you know, do a lot of work without restriction. So learn prompt engineering, how best to use it in the class, how to balance it up with our pedagogy so that we won't just turn the class to just technology alone. You know, we shouldn't be seen as the sage on the stage. We should be the guide by the side for the student. And don't forget, our job is not just to get into the class and dazzle the students and show the student that we know how to use different tools. The student should be able to construct knowledge using all these tools. We should teach them how to use this tool to construct knowledge, to spur their creativity and curiosity. So it's not about us, it is about the students.
Fantastic. So I was taking a quote. You said, don't be the sage on the stage. Be the guide for them, right?
Be the guide by the side.
Be the guide by the side. And then teach them to know how to use these tools to construct knowledge.
Knowledge, yeah.
Awesome. Thank you so much. I've learned a lot. And if you are like me, noble colleagues out there, you know that we are constantly pushing the bars to bring the best to our students. We want them to be locally relevant and globally competitive. They should be globally relevant too. You know, the world, I mean, the developed nations, they've gone really far. And we have these hidden potentials in our students, and they just need someone to introduce them into it. They just need someone to guide them. They just need someone to open their eyes to these things. So I want you to be that teacher. Don't just come to this training. Don't just take all this knowledge for yourself. Go and use it to impact the lives of your students. Thank you so much, Mr. Dieko. This is one of the most amazing sessions, and all the teachers out there are also saying the same. Thank you so much. We appreciate you.
My pleasure.
You're welcome, sir.
All right.
Okay. How much more can we take? We can take I'm going to be sharing my screen shortly to present Vanessa's presentation. This is simply amazing, simply amazing. Don't be the sage on the stage. Be the guide by the side. Teach them to know how to use these tools to construct knowledge. Please confirm to me that you can see my screen. Okay. So Vanessa was supposed to speak with us, but then she couldn't. We had some network glitches, right? And now we are going to do that. So it's booting.
Hello, everyone. Vanessa Simões da Silveira. And it's a great pleasure to speak with you about the. I am from Brazil. I live in Curitiba, Paraná, and that is in south of Brazil. I am a science and technology teacher in elementary school, and I am a PhD student.
So sorry. I understand that some of us have battery low.
So
and that's
First search focus on using and creating games to teach astronomy to elementary school students. Beyond my dissertation, I also producing a game creation guide to help teachers develop their own games based on explicit content needs. In addition to the guide, I created the game Exploring Space, which what is a game? I have two authors that is my references. One of that is Wizzy, that he says play is a voluntary activity that is free and separate from daily life. And as a culture expression essential for. And another author is Piaget that emphasizes cognitive development in the childhood, showing the games play a key role in learning by helping children connect new information to what they. According to Piaget, we have the four types of game. Exercise game to toddlers, the in this time the kids start to explore the object. They
Network. Huh. There's not much you can do. Okay, well, best time is fast spent, so I would record this presentation and make it available on the channel so that you can watch it and learn. So thank you so much, everyone. We will be sending some feedback forms to get your feedback, and do well to fill those forms for day 1 and day 2. That will be sent to the WhatsApp. So I want to appreciate you all for taking time off your busy schedule to join this training. That is something very remarkable. And I believe that you have learned things that will help make your journey as an educator smoother, faster, more effective, with students' learning outcomes that are improved student learning outcomes. And our students can be more, they can be critical thinkers. You can see that throughout the program, every speaker is saying the same thing. And I did not tell them. I just had that vision that, see, it's enough. Students will just cram and pour. We give them so much notes. Yes, notes are good, but how do they synthesize and apply the knowledge? It's just not enough to give them so much notes. Yes, give them so much notes. Let them know how to form their own notes too. But beyond that, can they solve problems? Can they think critically? Can they ask questions that you yourself will be like, you know what, let us all go and research on this. And when we come back, we will all put together what we have learned, right? It's a new dispensation. It's not a time to be the master of it all, to say that you are the teacher, you are the one who knows it all. That's the traditional method. It's the teacher that knows everything. The teacher comes to class and is the one doing all the talking. No, it shouldn't be so. We must work as educators with that singular vision to raise students who are critical thinkers, who are problem solvers, who are solution providers. That way, that is the only way they can prosper. That's the only way we can prosper. And that's the only way our nation at large can prosper. Thank you so much. I would like to take questions for those of you who are in the Zoom room, and we will also take a group photo for those of you who are in the Zoom room with us. For the other educators who were not registered and they are not in the WhatsApp group, they have to come to the recordings. The links will be made available and watch all those recordings, right? So because we are going to make the reports available, okay? And yeah, so if you will, can we all turn on our videos so that we can take pictures? Mrs. Olayemi Taiwo Olubunmi, she has been amazing. You know, she joined in very early and stayed through. God bless you, ma'am. God bless you. So I want you all to turn on your videos. Let us take a group picture together. And you want to talk? Yeah. Let me too. I like doing that too. I like taking pictures. Okay, where is everyone? I'm only seeing Mr. Ikudeimbu. Yeah, we have 7 people. Where is Mrs. Olubumi? Mrs. Olubumi is not here. Okay, so I'm going to take a picture of us. Thank you so much, distinguished educators. Where is... Okay, are we ready? Are we ready? Yeah, here comes Mrs. Olubumi. Mrs. Olubumi does not want to miss out on this august occasion. All right, 3, 2, 1. I got that. Let's take another shot. One more. Change your style. What style will I do? Let's change our style. 3, 2. I don't want that covered. 3, 2, 1, go. I got that. I'm going to send it to the group picture. I want you to unmute and just share with us what your experience has been. Mr. Ikudeimbu Idowu Samuel, can you unmute and share what your experience has been over the course of this training? Did you join from day 1?
Yes, ma'am.
Good. So share with us what has been your experience. How has it been for you?
It is a very wonderful experience. Like the day one, talking about the going to the moon and how to make use of gaming method, story interest method in order to capture the heart of the students. Most students make use of a video. Whatever you see is very hard for you to forget. So it is a method that is very necessary. I think all the schools have to have their internet in order to introduce the student there, and it makes teaching so much easy and understandable. So it's very interesting. I'm very happy. I think when getting to school on Monday, so I have to apply all those methods and put it into practice, and then call the students together, share the knowledge together. So not only this teacher center alone, you have to consider the students, and it depends on the topic you want to teach. So before applying any method, so bringing the student together, I know when the student, you take them along, they will have this belief that they are part of it. So it is easy for them to share their problem with you. And it will be easy for the teacher to know the area in which they are lacked. So I'm very, very, very grateful for this opportunity to give it to me. Thank you very much.
Yes.
Thank you. Yes,
I learned from what you said. And I want Mr. Olarotimiluwagbenga. Mr. Idowu, what's the name of your school, sir?
Randu Senior Secondary School, Apapa.
Okay, nice having you here. Now
thank you very
much. Hear from Mr. Olarotimiluwagbenga. Share with us, how has this training impacted your life as a person, and what are you going to be taking back to class? Tell us what you're... Yeah.
Good evening, everyone.
Good evening.
This training is really an eye-opening for me because I was at the last robotic competition organized by Lagos State, I think at stadium, National Stadium in Lagos State. Can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
So this training alone, I don't think it's just for the students. It's also for us as a teacher. So I've learned a lot, especially how to make use of our digital tools, which are made available to us, and how to harness materials to empower our students. From this training, I've understood that we've moved from the traditional classroom to a digital classroom now, where unlimited resources are available to us. And we've gained additional knowledge about space. It's not just fiction that we see on TV or on the internet. It's something we can practicalize and bring home to make science more real to our students. So I've learned a lot, especially in the use of AI and the rest, to enhance our teaching and how to make our students, guide our students, don't be the stage by the stage, is to guide our students how to use the various tools. Each of these presenter that took their own presentation was wow. So I've really learned a lot, especially in the robotic session. So I think this time around, my school is going to participate. I'm going to make use of the material because the last one, we just went there to be a spectator.
So now you know when you are going for a competition, you know just how to go through it and prepare to go and conquer.
Yes. Awesome. This time around.
Thank you. Mrs. Olayemi Taiwo, can we hear from you, ma? Mrs. Olayemi Taiwo, please unmute. You need to unmute. Yes, I want everyone on this call. So I have 3, you are the 3rd person. There are still 4 more people who must talk.
Yes, I learned so much. I learned we can make use of anything available to promote teaching and learning. It was a very interesting program and highly educative. I gained a lot. We can use any medium to promote teaching and learning. Thank you so much. It's a very great opportunity.
Thank you, ma.
God bless you.
Next person I'm going to call on. Please, ma, are you a STEM teacher? Or
yes.
A STEM teacher?
Yes, a STEM teacher. Yes.
So do we have anyone who is a non-STEM teacher in the building?
Yes.
Mr. Idowu, you are a non-STEM teacher, right?
Yes, ma.
Awesome. So you can always apply all that you've learned in your class.
Yeah.
Awesome. Yeah,
yes.
I will call on Mr. Abdul Latif. Right. Mr. Abdul Latif, please turn on your video and share with us what you learned during this training. As said, what you are going to take back to class. Miss, is this a female? Miss Abdul Latif, right? Yes.
Good afternoon. Can you hear me now?
Yes.
It's really a fantastic program. I learned a lot from it. Teaching teachers how to explore in the classroom using different edutech devices. It's fantastic. And I wish more of this program, we can have opportunity to have more of it so that we can implement it in our classrooms. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Well done. Okay. Next up, Mr. Amo Kende, tell us whether you're a STEM teacher or a non-STEM teacher. Mr. Amo Kende. Please unmute.
Yeah.
Yes, you need to unmute. and tell us how this program has impacted you, what you are taking to the classroom, and what key learning points you are taking away. Is Miss Amo Kende here? Oh, wow. Okay, let's move on to Mr. Olarotinbi Oluwagbenga. Or has he spoken before?
I have spoken before.
Okay, so let's move on to Mr. Olayemi Taiwo. Mr. Olayemi. Mr. Olayemi Taiwo, is it Mrs. Olayemi Taiwo? What about Xiaomi 231? Xiaomi 231. Okay. All right. So we have lessons recorded. So I would share the links in the WhatsApp group and you can learn at your own pace. They are reference materials for you in case you forgot anything or there's something you need to check again. Please feel free. If you have questions, feel free to drop your questions. So thank you. Thank you all. We'll be ending the call now. So it's a great day to say bye. I'll see you all in subsequent trainings.
Very much.
Bye, everyone.
Bye, ma. Thank you,
Bye.
ma.
You're
We
welcome.
appreciate it. Thank you. Yes.
Thank you.
already.
Thank you very much. God bless you.
Welcome. You're welcome. Does Vicky want to say something? Vicky came in. Vicky came in. All right. Bye, everyone. Bye, everyone. Bye, everyone.